Hey everybody, it's me, Raul Gaz. How we going? Oh, Real Gaz, I should say. I'm doing pretty good. I had a pretty interesting week this week. So this week was the big week, the confirmation of candidature week. And, you know, I wish I could say I enjoyed myself, but I didn't. I did my best though. And yeah, I would like to just take this podcast or weekly kind of update. It's not a podcast. But I just want to talk about what happened and let you guys know how it was and how it went. So, as you may recall, I was forbidden to do a public confirmation of candidature like everybody else. I wasn't allowed to do a video either. So, even though that's in the kind of form and process and the policy, I wasn't allowed to do that. They said no to me, and they gave me no reason for it either. This is the same person who told me I need to publish more in order to be considered for a scholarship, which everybody knows isn't even the actual requirement. Anyway, I kind of feel like this guy's bullying me, if I'm honest. So you probably don't know, but I was like also attacked on LinkedIn for doing a PhD in gaming. And all these boomers were like, well, they're respected, gentlemen down south in Victoria in the business community type of thing. But just people don't understand video games. And so, they just were attacking me in an open forum and stuff, and it sucked. So if you've ever been like that for doing something you're passionate about, like, hit me up, we'll talk. Anyway, so I'm kind of getting this feeling maybe this old guy just doesn't understand what it's about, and he's just attacking it and stuff. Or whatever. He didn't even show up. He told me it was closed doors and to prepare for a closed door meeting, and the bloke didn't even show up. Anyway, so, yeah. Even though the whole project is all done online and remotely and all this stuff to make sure I can do what I need to do, like I still went in to the campus probably for the first time in a PhD capacity because, they never organized anything for me in any other capacity. Yeah, I know, right? Imagine being this far into a PhD program and not being even being given the student card. The place just needs to be investigated, if I'm honest. Anyway, so here I am, I rock up, and I'm trying to do my best. Just a minute. So I'm there, and I'm just trying my best. I had very simple slides because, my hand's been in a bit of pain, so I was in the splint. And it comes and goes, guys. I haven't been gaming at all, right? It's just doing a little bit more physical activity and stuff. You just kind of tend to notice it, and it's good to just rest it anyway because I feel like, why not, just better rest, better healing, because I'm trying to get stronger as well. That's really important. I feel like hand strength will help me in the long term. So just simple slides, a copy of the proposal, and the YouTube channel and everything's there so I can show them some artifacts and things that I was talking about. So it goes for an hour, and they had an additional half an hour to fill in my forms. So I haven't had access to my emails or anything like that because the computer systems here aren't that great. But fortunately, it was working today, so I could see my emails, and I just got told, if you need to talk about anything from my supervisor, just let me know, and we'll find out next week. I just find it absurd that it takes so long to confirm a confirmation to candidature. And I'm also especially displeased with the fact that, I was told you can't have this, that, or the other, and it will be behind closed doors, but it was still publicly broadcasted anyway. I just really don't agree with how they do things at this university and how, my experiences. The people who were there were a couple of people there who I hadn't met, female professors, and they were quite nice. They were pretty good. One of them said Huizinga, which was pleasing, and they were involved in a legal gaming project or something like that once in their career. So, yeah. Because my primary supervisor has a role to play in the faculty research department, they can't actually be on the panel, so to speak, during my confirmation of candidature. So they had to get somebody else, and that person was the dean, which was great, but she didn't even show up, so she delegated it to someone else, and then she rocked up in the last 10 minutes. Only asked me one question, and then I was questioned by an Indian man in the Zoom about my my methods and how I wanted to do a survey. Everyone had problems with the survey. So I kind of feel like all I wanted to do was an online survey and just put it out to a general population and see what results we got and then see what we could just figure out from there. And I was hoping for about 2,000 responses. I did some numbers. There's a few different methodologies that you can kind of use depending on how, just to get your population size and confidence levels and things like this. And I did some numbers and I double checked it with AI, and the Indian guy hated the fact that I used AI to double check my numbers. And I was like, oh, okay, some people are just really AI adverse, you know what I mean? They don't like knowing that the answer is the answer and that you can confirm it and triangulate it. So, that was a really challenging experience to try to talk to a total stranger who has nothing to do with the project in this forum, and it's like making me look bad. That was lame. And so, I've experienced a lot of trauma and a lot of grief, and I've been screwed over a lot of times in a lot of different ways, like when they unenrolled me from my master's and things like this. And no one's ever been held accountable, and everyone just pretends like nothing ever happened. And so you got to go there thinking it's closed doors, right, that you're going to get punished. And then just to find out that like people who are supposed to be in the meeting aren't even bothering to rock up to the meeting on time. And then you're just getting like questioned. There's no support, there's no help, there's no, this is really cool, we love this, apologies or understanding of what has gone right and what's gone wrong. It just felt like a little bit of look at the trauma kid. Let's gawk at him and his suffering at this place. Aren't we great on our $200,000 paychecks? Let's all relish this moment. And then instead of being able to determine if they could actually take the project on, because it's still trying to be confirmed, they have to deliberate for a whole nother week as to whether or not they can take this project on. And it's so annoying because I could have just started a PhD at a different university already and been confirmed. I could already be in a project without even doing that step if I had just not taken the offer to bring my research here, because I shook my hand and said I'd get a scholarship, and then, like how they deceived me and stuff to get here. So the whole thing basically sucked. And my primary supervisor, because it was like one of these poorly run meetings, so they're like, yep, it's over, and everyone just dispersed, and I was like, all right, I'm getting out of here. Not to mention how there was that fella there who always, there's this one guy, academic, he always tries to torpedo everything, right? But because I was there in person, he just kept his mouth shut because he didn't have the courage to do it to my face. Whereas the other guy was just happy to go at me because he was on the computer, So I'm glad I went in person. And you can tell just how I'm talking about it. It just felt all adversarial. It didn't feel like it was supposed to be anything. And it feels nothing like what a PhD was supposed to feel like, It's just lame. Anyway, Tony Robbins says you got to at least say, once you acknowledge and accept the situation, one thing you love and one thing you like about it. So what I really love was that Lady Gaz was there, able to support me and help me, because I didn't have the computer access and stuff that I needed, so she could help me get my slides and things together and help me print, I love that. Thank you so much for your help. I really like the fact that I was able to even do a confirmation at all, because the fact of the matter is that because the university doesn't follow its processes right, the time to do the confirmation is technically expired, but they don't really care about that. So they're just like, yep, we'll do it when we're available to do it. I need to have an answer before the 5th of November, so that way I can submit my ethics application to see if I can be approved. And because the university is adversarial in nature, the ethics application will most likely be rejected, and then they'll tell me what they'd like to see. Then I'll submit that again, and hopefully the project could actually start by the middle of next year. So you can just see how basically this has just been, even if everything goes right according to that timeline that I just said, it's going to be like an entire 1.5 to 2 year process of just sitting around waiting. Obviously, you got to get some development together and all this kind of stuff to make it a research training program, but I've done all my training. I've got lots of other things that I could be doing, studying and writing and, being a PhD person and developing the stream and doing all this stuff. So I'm going to find a way to keep myself productive, definitely. I'm a real winner. And we've also got stuff cooking up in the background that I still can't reveal yet, both in the stream and in our personal lives that we can't wait to share with everybody in the community. So there were about 7 people in that meeting, and I was like, there's about 7 people who watch me religiously all the time, So it was really interesting to see how that number came up. But it was good. I got to talk through my methods. I got to talk about the idea, the 5-factor model, So the games we play, and so analysis into the games, analysis into how we achieve, analysis into the actual achievements that we got to do, analysis into the competitions, analysis into the ascription and the discourse and how we talk about what elite gaming is and all this stuff. So yeah, that was all like really awesome to be able to go through and talk about the state of the literature and how no one's really doing elite gaming except for me, and it's a real groundbreaking opportunity. But I don't know. As I say to Lady Gaz, it's like, I've never had a good experience at the university, even though I'm trying to be good about it. I'm trying to lay down some foundations so that way, because if you don't do your PhDs here and you don't become an alumni of this place and all this stuff, how can you change this place? You know, like good has to come here and settle here and do good in order for it to become good. Otherwise, all you get is just the trash and the riffraff and those whose careers are terminals, and all they're doing is just like, you know, managing their decline and stifling the growth of the people of the Northern Territory. Because it's hard to be judged by people who aren't from here and understand how you got here and all this kind of stuff, you know, like it's just a very unique kind of challenge, as well as not having any resources and being 4,000 kilometers away from any other city like Singapore or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like in Australia, you know, it takes forever to get anywhere. 4-hour flight, $800 out of town, you know, on a plane. It sucks. Still, though, like, I want to talk about my mental health and trauma and things in general. You know, that was just saying in some of the research that, like, kids who experience trauma can't play, right? And, like, I can still really play. But at the same time, though, I know I've experienced trauma. I know that, like, I've had a really bad time, stressful time with this university. So, look, but in my past sort of updates, I've been talking about how I've been trying to turn a corner. And to be perfectly honest, I really feel like I have turned a corner. The thing is, though, is that, like, I've turned that corner, but because I'm still in the same environment with the same BS, it's like, oh, I'm straight back to where I was, you know? So it's just a matter of time until somebody steals my bike again, so to speak, and I'm sad. So, you know, we're still cooking all those things in the background that I can't reveal just yet, because it's just not quite time yet to reveal, but I cannot really wait. I just cannot wait until I get to tell you guys all about it and what we're going to do. So, yeah, hopefully next week, my confirmation of Kenninger results will come back in and we'll know if I'm doing a PhD here or not. Thanks, guys. And then after that is ethics. All right, more YouTube videos coming out from Season 2, and hopefully we'll be able to get started on Season 3 content for YouTube next. All right, so. And sorry for complaining. Thanks, guys.